the first month of a brand new year, and this monthly spread is inspired by blooming flowers and the blessings of Sri Lord Ganesha. Here's what's there for this month. We have a cover spread followed by a blank page that I used to write down notes and scribble. Then I have my growth and goals planner, which I will go in detail while we are making it. After that, we have a nearly empty spread for memories, which I'm hopefully going to be filling with lots of photos, habit tracker, and a page for quotations because I'm planning to read a lot of books. Then a gratitude log, which also has a little bit of a 3D look to it. Then project planner, and then moving on to the weekly spread. This is my weekly spread. So let's jump right in. To start with, I have used a compass to draw a set of concentric circles. So a couple of circles in the center of the page, and then how much ever space is remaining, you draw two semicircles on the left and on the right. I have made petal shapes for the center flower, and since this is going to be a red lotus, so I'm going to be coloring this with crimson red, and while I do that, I would request you to like and subscribe to my channel if you find bullet journals and planners, and if you like them as much as I do. I'm pretty nervous because this is my second bullet journal video, and your likes and shares and comments would really help. So now I'm done with coloring red, and I am taking a little bit of acrylic gold on my palette, and I'm going to be coloring the semicircles on the outside and also draw a little bit of base around my lotus flower with the same gold. And then to accentuate everything, I am taking a little bit of Persian blue and drawing a beautiful thick border around my center circle. So let's see how to make a pop-up or a blooming flower. So I'm going to be demonstrating this on a separate blank sheet. So what you do is fold it into two halves and find the center of the page. Then take a compass and draw a very wide arc, as wide as your compass will allow. So this will form the base of our flower. So after that, we are going to be reducing the width and drawing another arc under our first arc. So the gap between these two arcs will determine the height of our flower. So if you want your flower to be tall, make the gap wider. If you want the flower to be smaller, you can make the gap smaller. Now I'm using the same protractor to divide the bottom arc into 6 equal steps, like so. It's 6 equal parts. Please make sure there are 6. If you have 4 or 5, it may not really work. So now I'm going to be using a scale or a ruler to draw connecting lines between all the dots. Towards one end of the petal, I would draw a centimeter wide flap that we'll be using to stick to the other petal and make a circle. So on the second and fifth petal, we would be drawing a centimeter wide flap at the bottom so that we can use that to stick it on our sheet of paper. So once this is done, you can use this. This is a good time to draw out your petal shapes. And then once you're happy with how all the petals look, it's time to use a scissor and cut out the shape. this is how I would look. This is how it would look. So now I'm going to be reinforcing all the folds and fold them on both the sides. And so one trick while folding these flaps is to draw straight lines. Like if you see from one end of the petal to another, draw a straight line and not a curved one. Drawing a straight line helps the flap stick flat on the paper, and your flower will also look flat and flush on your spread. So now I'm going to be taking a little bit of glue and trying to convert this into a circle, like so. So one thing to make sure is to always use a little bit of glue because too much will overflow and it will stick in wrong places. So now I'm going to be taking another rough sheet of paper and aligning the edges to the fold, to the center fold, and I'm going to be using my two flaps that we cut out last time, and those are going to be stuck on the right and on the left hand side, like seen. So I'm using a little bit of glue to stick the right side flap first, and then I'm going to be laying the flower flat and then lifting the left side flap up and putting a little bit of glue on top of that, and then fold your page like this. So give it a nice squeeze, and once it is dry, open it up, and then you'll see a beautiful shape. This is the basic shape that we would be using for the flower. All you have to do is cut out the petals in the shape that you desire and color it, and there goes your lotus flower. So this is what I have. I use my printer to print out these shapes, but I'm not happy with how the color turned out to be. So I'm going to be using the same crimson red and painting it on both sides of the petal. So here I am using red and a scrap piece of paper to paint everything, and once it is done, I'm going to be sticking the right side flap first, aligning the edges, don't forget that. So stick the right side flap first. Use a little bit of glue, not too much. And then fold the entire piece down. Lift the left side flap up. Lift the left side flap up and then close the book gently over it. And let it dry, and then once you open it, your flower would look something like this, and it also closes very neatly. Awesome. So we're going to be sticking the second row of petals in the similar way. This will get a little bit tricky because we already have a petal outside of it, but I promise with practice this is going to be really easy. So there you can see that I have a little extra glue peeping out. I am removing that first before sticking the left side. So if you notice there is a little bit of red paint on my fingers, please don't be alarmed, that is red paint. And if you're enjoying this so far, please do give it a like and do subscribe to my channel. That would mean a lot, and I would make more bullet journal videos in the future. So now I'm going to be using my white gel pen to draw a Ganesh. If you have gold, please use gold, that would look great. I do not have gold, so I'm using white, and I'm drawing a little cute Ganesh here. On the left and right, I am adding a little bit of calendar and writing the name of the month and my 3 words for this year: peace, self-love, and growth. So now let's talk about planning. So yearly, maybe in December every year, what I do is I list down 6 major areas of my life and do a little exercise where I write down what is my current state. Like for example, under health and fitness, that's one of the areas. So under health and fitness, what is my current state, and the next year where I want to be at. And then, so that would be like the major goal for me for the year in that particular area. And then I would write down a list of action steps that can be taken to reach that goal. So for example, under health and fitness, one of my goals is to start walking. So I would kind of add that to my calendar. One of the action steps would be to start tracking it in the health tracker. So that is the spread that I'm going to be using. So now this is the spread for memories. I am keeping it blank because hopefully there'll be a lot of photos in here. And I'm just going to be drawing a little lotus flower using the same red and a little bit of orange here. Nothing too fancy. This is probably the simplest spread in the entire set. Moving on to the weekly spreads, this is my absolute favorite. It is the gratitude log, which has 7 different sections for 7 days of the week, and I start my day with writing down things that I am grateful for. And this is such a beautiful way to start the day in gratitude, and out of all the manifestation methods I have tried, I think this one has worked the best for me. This is an example of full gratitude logs. It looks wonderful, and it sets the right tone for the day. So now I have colored a lotus flower with the same color theme. I am taking a yellow sheet of paper, coloring it with a little bit of gold, and making a hand cutout, and then outlining the fingers with black. And I'm going to stick it on top of the paper with double-sided tape, the thin one, so that it does not really stand out of the page, but it's not on the same level. So it gives a little bit of an elevation, and it looks beautiful. On the right hand side is my project planner. So these are the projects that I would be working on throughout this week, and I write down all the things that need to be done in those particular projects, and then I transfer those tasks into my weekly planner. So this is my monthly habit tracker. I'm sorry, I think I missed showing that. So this is my habit tracker, and I'm going to be writing the 5 things that I'm going to be tracking for this week. And so I'm not really tracking too much this month, but I want to be tracking my water intake, my meditation and exercise. So once that is done, on the right hand side I am leaving space for quotations. So I read a lot of books, and there are a lot of things that inspire me, and this is a space where I write down everything that inspires me, and in one easy place to look at. So after that, we are moving to the weekly spread of week 1 in Jan. I am starting with coloring a cute little Ganesh at the center of the page, accentuating that with a red lotus again, and then I'm going to be giving his crown a beautiful gorgeous blue color, and finishing it off with gold. So one thing, there are 2 things that I really like to track in the week, and that has helped me in my job as well. And I have like a full-time corporate role. So one thing that I like to track in the week is the goals for this week. So I have like specific goals that I want to achieve in this week. I also like to keep a track of my wins throughout the week. This really helps me take a look at everything that I have accomplished so far, and it also helps me send my status email to my manager next week. So that's a good thing to track. So that is it for the spread. It has come out beautifully, I guess. I have thoroughly enjoyed making it, and if you have found it inspirational, or if you at least liked it, please do subscribe to this channel and give it a like. That would inspire me to create more bullet journal videos. So thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.